we talked about some of the. What was your favorite coach you played for? Was it because you played for Larry Bird, right?
Yeah, Larry. So like Larry got mad at me from the day I met him. I had missed my flight for my press conference.
Oh, so he just already was like.
Yeah, he being late is the worst thing you could do with him is being late. He does not play that shit. So literally the first time I met him, I walk into the office and he was like, I don't play that late shit. Before he said, hi, happy to have you on the team. He's like, I don't play that late shit. That's some bullshit. And I felt like he always held that against me the 2 years I was there. But Larry was not a coach per se. He was a game manager. We had a guy
because you had like Chris Mullin and all these.
But you
vets.
still got to run plays and all that. Right. But he never did that. Like he never wrote in 2 years. Never wrote an X or O on the board.
Oh, really?
Never once. He had Rick Carlisle, our offensive coach.
Great coach, by the way.
Yep. And then we had the coach Brendan Malone.
So he just had like coordinators.
Yeah, exactly. And he just subbed. He just turned around and be like, oh, you get this person.
Hey, timeout. He was calling timeout and subbing.
That's what he would do. But my favorite coach was so I would say my best X and O coach was Rick Carlisle.
Shout out to Rick Carlisle.
Like, bro, whatever he draws up works. Every time you're gonna get an open shot for sure. Every time.
He's back in Indiana, right?
He's back in Indiana. But my favorite coach that I enjoyed playing for was where we had the least amount of success was Mike Woodson.
That was for the. Oh, that was in it. Oh, that's right. Yeah. You were with the Hawks for
because I got traded for Steven Jackson when the Malice in the Palace thing. Damn. So that was my favorite coach, and the reason why I liked him so much was once again, man, I'm just a huge. I'm huge on like integrity and just like just being straight up with people, and like I just felt like the 2 years I was with him, he never lied to me once, bro. He told me whether I liked it or not. You know what I'm saying? He told me what was the truth. And, for that.
Joe Johnson was on that team?
Joe came the next year. My first year, no Joe. First year was like.
Second year, you had Joe.
Second year, we had Joe. First year was like me, Antoine Walker, Kevin Willis.
No wonder why you had your best scoring team.
Bro, and then we had all rookies. We had like Josh Smith, Josh Childress.
Shout out to Josh Childress, man. Yeah. One of the greatest pros in NBA history. Kevin Willis had to be like 50. Bro, wait, no, he played so long. We had no idea
how old he was.
He played so long. It's crazy. Yo, did Joe Johnson ever like confide in you how he felt about how the Suns did? Because I felt like if we would have kept Joe Johnson, I feel like we might have had a championship, bro. We let Joe Johnson just walk because we're cheap.
But he came. I mean,
and then he goes to the Hawks, and then they become a perennial playoff team.
Yeah, he was one of the most underrated players, you know what I'm saying, of his time for sure. But, hey, man, ISO Joe was a monster.
Did you guys ever trade back and forths about, like, later on, how much you guys didn't like Mike D'Antoni?
Nah, I want to say me and him never had a conversation about Mike, but I might hit him up and ask him, though.
Like, hey, so what was it like?
Yeah, did you really hate this guy?
Well, look, man, obviously, so can you kind of break down, because I don't think a lot of people understand a lot of the business model when it comes to the weed game. I think a lot of people think it's like we were talking off the air, it's like you get in the weed game and you just print money, which is not the case. So many companies, they're here for 6 months, they're here for 2 years, and then they're gone. Like you said, you're 12 years in. For you guys, are you guys strictly distro, wholesale? You guys don't have a dispensary license, do you?
Yeah, so my company got a bunch of layers to it. You know what I'm saying?
Because you guys are in a lot of markets.
Yeah, we're in a bunch of markets. I think we're in like 10 markets total, in a variation of different like ways, right? So for the Viola brand, we have cultivated or operated in California, Oregon, Michigan, and Colorado. To your point, now the industry has changed so much. I think the asset light approach, which means, to what you said, focusing on wholesaling, focusing more on just the branding, the sell through and different things like that, is probably the way to go if you're trying to scale a brand, almost like the kind of cookies model.
Yeah.
But even that's difficult because then you got to have a hell of a procurement team and make sure like the quality control is right.
Quality control is the main thing, right?
It's everything, right? But so either way, it's very difficult both ways, right? We also have started opening up some retail locations through a like sister company that we have called Village. So Viola owns a percentage of Village, and all of the Village locations are named Viola. So we have.
So you guys do have storefronts.
So we have two. We have two in Missouri.
Okay.
We have two in Illinois about to open up. We have one in Jersey. We're about to open. We're about to open one up in Maryland. We hope to get something going down in Florida. And then also New York. We're working on New York currently.
Is it crazy for you to go to New York as a kid from the East Coast and see how open the weed? Like, have you been in New York City recently?
Yes, of course.
It is like the craziest shit I've ever seen.
It's like
people think like
it's federal legalization.
People think like California's like everyone's out here smoking weed. No, you go to New York and you're just walking in the park and there's a bunch of dudes with fold-up tables selling drugs.
It's crazy.
Near cops. Or you go to the store to buy a juice and a sandwich, and the guy behind the back, he's got all kind of weed and shrooms and shit. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, New York
and
is
it happened
the Wild
like
Wild
this.
West. New York is definitely the Wild Wild West. They decriminalized, and everybody just is
The
taking
NYPD
advantage.
just don't care. They're just like, hey, do your
Hey,
thing.
at the end of the day,
Which is
it's
good.
prohibition,
Which
right?
is great.
Yeah,
Which is
sometimes
great.
you gotta take advantage
It's
of
just wild
moments.
to see the like contrast.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, to your point, like I remember there was a point, like you said, you rode through the city. I remember one time I had got some weed in New York and I was still playing, but it's the summertime, and I got pulled over. And I had just picked up a couple ounces from somebody, and it would have my whole car stinking. And I was so scared.
Yeah.
And the cop took my stuff and everything, and I told him it was a new truck. That's why the plate was wrong, whatever. And he literally gave my license and insurance back and was like, "Stop smoking in the car." I hadn't even smoked. I was just, you know what I'm saying? But he could have literally locked me up for it. You know what I'm saying? To your point now, I could be blazing and he pulled me over like, "What's up? You want to hit this?" You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely changed a lot. And, I think that the New York program on the legal side is probably going to be one of the best in the industry, I think, because of the way that they are trying to make sure that legacy people that were disproportionately affected by the war on drugs are like winners and that are participating in the beginning and not in the later, like most states, because most states, they give all these big companies this opportunity, then they say, okay, now we're going to let the people that the poor people get in. And I always say, like, I use the comparison, is like playing against the Warriors and spotting them 20-30 points and then saying go out and play.
Which is literally what happened, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with New York, they're doing it, totally. They're doing it the right way. They're rolling it out properly. And I'm excited for the New York market. I think it's going to be probably the biggest in the country.